Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Astronomy. I'm your host, Mr. Hernandez, or Mr. H, or just Hernandez, or hey you, whatever. Um, so if you're in my classroom, you are in room 274 of the S building. So this is just a brief overview of all of the stuff that we did on the very first day. So for every section of notes, I will make a video and I will put those in a folder on Schoology titled Notes. Yeah, hard to find. But you'd be surprised at how many people have no idea that I make these videos, which is kind of sad to me because I do spend a lot of time doing them, all of about 6 minutes. So that's time that I could be doing other things, like looking at random things on the wall. Like, who knew? There's a periodic table over there. Does it take up half of the wall? Yes. Have I noticed it before? Yes. Have I really looked at it? That's 7 minutes that I could be looking at the periodic table. Okay, anyways. So, odds and ends stuff. So syllabus. Here is the syllabus. We have a bunch of cool things on here that might be helpful to you. For example, my email address. That's always fun. So every once in a while I get a student's like, hey, what's your email address? And I'm like, hey, it's my last name, mostly, and my first initial. I don't know how they came up with that, but I guess it's the first 6 of your last name if you have more than 6. And then the first initial at gpschools.org. So cool. There's also the online homework web address in case you ever need that. And this might be helpful as well. This is our online homework login. So we just need that for the very first time that you're logging into Quest. Now we'll go through that and how you use that and all that fun stuff. If you are watching this video in a year and month that is not January of 2020, that Quest ID may change. I don't plan on remaking this video unless something drastically changes. So make sure you use the correct unique ID, and that should be on whatever we talk about at the beginning of the semester. Other things, we have a nice fun remind. Oh, look at this, reminding. Ooh, look at that. And then here is our remind. I use remind mostly to tell you to bring your jacket when we're going outside, or if we're meeting in a computer lab, or if you're supposed to bring your telescope, or if someone wants to, quickly get a hold of me. That's usually what I use remind for. I don't use remind to tell you that there's a test or a quiz. You should know when those are because you are told way ahead of time. Same when things are due. You should know when things are due because you are a very good student and are going to, write things down or keep a calendar of some sort. Okay, so let's go through this. Materials that you are going to need. Pen, preferably blue or black ink. You'll get some notes. I will print those off for you. Any worksheets or labs. Cell phone. You're going to need this until the district goes to that whole bring your own device, and then I'll have to figure out how we're going to do that in each class. So for right now, cell phone. It's probably going to change in a year or two to some kind of Chromebook or something, but I don't know, something to access the internet would be awesome. Paper, calculator, binder to keep all your junk in, and then, night sky observation journal, as well as any important passwords or email. Cool. All right, so we talked about pens, blue or black ink. Whoa, look at the blue turned to black. That's crazy. Anyways, calculator, composition book. Please try to get one of these as soon as possible. All of your sky journals are done in a composition book, and it has to be a composition book. It doesn't necessarily have to look like this color, but it should be the standard size for a composition book. No rings, no larger binders, nothing like that. And the reason for that is it fits very nicely on this bookshelf that I will show you. when you are in my classroom to turn that in. Okay, so classroom conduct, be nice, don't be mean to me or others. Daily activities, you have this thing called a bell ringer, which is a fancy way of saying, board work, opening activity. I call it a bell ringer because it starts when the bell rings. Yeah, trying to fall asleep, that's also bad. Okay, so late work. I accept most late work. Generally what I do is if I haven't passed it back yet, I might only take a point off or, something small amount just because it was late. If I've already passed back the assignment and then you turn it in like a day or two later, I give half credit for that. Just half. There's no way for me to know if you actually did that or if you just, took a picture and copied someone else's. Not saying that you would ever do that because that'd be terrible and I know no one would ever do that, but this just keeps me safe. So after that, we'll just do half credit. It's important to note that online homework, known as a quest assignment, cannot be turned in late. These are timed, and once the window closes, the window is closed, and I will not reopen it, so don't ask. But if you do miss one or forget to do one, I will drop one at the end of each quarter. So if you do bad, I'll drop it. If you forget to do it, which would then be bad, I would also drop it. Just some things to keep in mind. All right, so tests, quizzes. We mostly have quizzes here, and they are every week on Friday, unless I tell you otherwise. They need to be done within 3 days if you ever miss a quiz. So if you miss a Friday, it needs to be done by that following Wednesday. I really hate to do them in class because during class we are doing other things, so they need to be made up either before school, after school, during your lunch, tutorial, some other time, just so that you don't miss out on new stuff and then you're constantly behind. Labs, these are limited with our supplies, so if you miss a lab, I will try to have makeup stuff for you, but there's a possibility that the material is no longer available, so if you miss a lab, you miss out. Bell ringers, I told you before, they're graded, and they're every day. That might be important. Try not to miss those. If you're absent, or your cell phone doesn't work, or something, your Chromebook's not working, or whatever, the internet's not working, whatever the case is, try to get those in. Any missed bell ringers at the last week of the quarter, I am going to turn them into 0. So you have plenty of time to get any missed stuff done, but don't let those pile up. And the idea is that you come in and do the bell ringer the day of, not like 2 nights before the end of the quarter. That being said, I will drop the lowest 10 every quarter. That way, if you miss some or get some wrong, it doesn't affect your grade too much. That kind of goes to like 1.5 a week or something like that. I don't remember. All right. Cell phones, I want you to have them until the district goes to that whole bring your own device thing. But until that happens, there's a lot of evils associated with cell phones, like, cheating, watching Game of Thrones, or Dexter, or Friends, which isn't on Netflix anymore. That's pretty sad. Just don't make me be the phone police. I don't want to do it. I hate it. So don't make me be that teacher. Just be respectful of that. Don't abuse my cell phone policy. Standard grade scale, I round up at half, so 92.5 would be a 93. Homework assignments, make sure you turn those in on time. Labs, make sure you turn those in. We usually get 1 or 2 labs a week. Quizzes, we'll have those every Friday, so weekly, unless something weird happens. Participation, those are your bell ringers. so make sure you're doing those. Night sky observations, so you're going to be required to keep a sky journal, and later on in the year I'll talk about how to set that up. So much of what we do in astronomy has to be done at night outside of school, so this is kind of how I see if you're looking at stars and stuff like that. Alright, so I have more to this, but this is getting kind of long, so I'm going to break this up into 2 sections. So this will be Welcome to Astronomy Part 1. I'll go through Part 2, and both of those will be under note videos. Okay, hasta luego. Hopefully not too much later.